faculty, and the bright young diplomats gathered here today. With immense pride and joy, we welcome you to the 15th edition of the Navrachana International Model United Nations, NIMUN 15. I am Dhruvi, and with me is Jia, and together we are honored to be a host for this special occasion.
On behalf of our head of school and dedicated staff and the NIMUN secretary, we extend a heartfelt welcome to our chief guest, Mr. Darren Farron, Director, UN Information Center for India and Bhutan, Mrs. Sandhya Gajjar, Member Board of Trustees, to the members of the PTA Executive Committee, Mrs. Leni Rana, our ex-HOD of the English Department and a pioneer member of our school's NIMUN conferences, and to all the dignitaries gracing this milestone celebration. Above all, a warm welcome to our delegates representing schools across the country, and from our partner school, ISSR Stockholm, who have journeyed all the way from Sweden to be a part of this conference, adding a truly international dimension to our gathering.
As Mrs. Tejal Amin, chairperson of Navrachana Education Society, is unable to join us this morning, we are honored to present her message to mark this occasion. And I quote, "Good morning to all. I extend my warmest greetings to our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Darren Farron, and to every delegate, faculty member, and guest gathered for this special occasion. Although I am unable to join you in person, I wish to share this thought. The true value of NIMUN lies not only in the arguments you present, but in the wishes to all the delegates. May this experience inspire you to carry forward the values of empathy, courage, and collaboration into the larger world."
NIMUN is host to 19 schools across the country with around 200 delegates participating in this diplomatic competition. They are as follows: International School of the Stockholm region, Navrachana Higher Secondary School, Shri Shriji English Medium School, Navrachana Vidyani Vidyalay, Bright Day School CBSE, D.R. Amin Memorial School, St. Joseph School, and Billabong High International School.
Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan's VM Public School, Cygnus World School, Nalanda International School, Green Valley High School, Prince Ashok Raje Gaikwad School, Sanjay Ghorawat International School, Fountainhead School, Vibgyor High School, 21K Schools, Pune International School, and Navrachana International School.
Beyond the debates and resolutions, NIMUN 15 also celebrates the culture of Gujarat. The very name Vadodara comes from the Vad, the banyan tree, a symbol of shelter, resilience, and wisdom, much like the spirit of the United Nations. This historic city is the perfect backdrop for this conference, as the city boasts its iconic landmarks like the Kala Ghoda statue, the majestic Lakshmi Villa Palace, and where tradition meets grandeur, and the Manvi Gate, which once welcomed traders and travelers, and the renowned Maharaj Sayaraji University of Baroda, a hub of learning and ideas that celebrates Gujarat's most famous expressions of unity, the Garba, dance in circles that echo harmony and inclusion. Yesterday, as a prelude to this conference, our delegates visited the Statue of Unity, an emblem of India's unity and a celebration of cultural exchange, a reminder that diplomacy thrives when we embrace diversity and learn from one another.
Over the next few days, these very halls will become parliaments of thought. These corridors will echo with debate, and these young voices will carry the weight of nations. May we listen, may we question, and may we together weave a narrative of diplomacy that honors the true spirit of the United Nations.
We now begin this journey in the most auspicious way by lighting the ceremonial lamp, the eternal flame of wisdom and knowledge. Its light is symbolic of clarity in dialogue and harmony in diversity. May I request the IB Head of School, Mr. D'Souza, Member Board of Trustees, Mrs. Sandhya Gajjar, Mrs. Lili Rana, along with our Secretary General, Sia Chawla, and Deputy Secretary General, Z.S. Lalani, to escort our Chief Guest, Mr. Farhan, to light the inaugural lamp.
Sit. Yes, ma'am. Yes, guys.
To set the tone for this momentous occasion, we begin with a performance that carries the very essence of what NIMUN stands for: unity, change, and hope. Our young PYP students from grades 3 to 5 will now present the inspiring song, "Together We Can Change the World" by Mark Shepherd. May their voices remind us that every effort, no matter how small, can light the way to transformation.
Gama gama pa, gama gama pa, resa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe it's not too late. Together we can change the world. Lay the puzzle pieces out, find out what it's all about. Together we can change the world. Can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for your help. Together we can change the world. That's where it's been started. Roll your sleeves up, let's get started. Together we can change the world. Together we can change the world. With our hands and with our hearts, we can dare to make a start. Together we can change the world. What if we spoke these up? Can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for your help. Together we can change the world. Open up our eyes, then we start to realize. Together we start to realize. Together we can change the world. All of these songs. Can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for your help. Together we can change the world. Tell us where it's been started. Roll your sleeves up, let's get started. Together we can change the world. Can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for your help. Together we can change the world. Tell us where it's been started. Roll your sleeves up, let's get started. Together we can change the world. Together we can change the world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe it's not too late. Together we can change the world.
Thank you, students, for the heartwarming performance.
It is now our privilege to introduce our chief guest, Mr. Director of the United Nations Information Center in New Delhi since May 2023, brings to the role more than 20 years of experience in UN communications, including the development and implementation of strategies and campaigns, the coordination of programs and high-level activities, and close collaboration with a range of partners, including UN member states, the media, civil society, and other UN entities. Since joining the UN in 2003, Mr. Parent has worked in various communication roles at both its global headquarters in New York and Sudan. Before moving to India in 2023, he was Special Assistant to the Under-Secretary General for Global Communications. Mr. Farrant was previously a journalist in Australia and the United Kingdom. He has bachelor's degrees in law and arts from the University of Melbourne. Sir, it's an honor to have you amongst us, and we eagerly await the insights you will share with us today. May I now invite our head of school, Mr. D'Souza, and Mrs. Sandhya Gajjar, member of the Board of Trustees, to kindly present mementos to our chief guest, Mr. Darren Farrant.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
To remind us of our collective responsibility, we now present a special video of a song originally written and performed by Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie. The instrumental track used in the production of this video song is a pre-made composition owned by Vocal Motion Show Choir.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is out. And this place could be brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you'll feel there's no need for sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. We could really get there if you care enough for the living. Make a better place for you and for me. There comes a time when we need a sudden call, when the world must come together as one. We are all a part of God's great big family, and the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world, we are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're sending out our light. It's gonna make a brighter day, just you and me.
Well, send them your heart, so they know that someone cares, and their lives will be stronger and free.
And the one that we believe in will shine again in grace. Make a little space, make a better place. We are the world, we are in a better place. We are for you and for me and the entire human race. Let the choice from every and there.
At its heart, the UN is about dialogue, not the silence of indifference, but the sound of voices coming together. NIMUN 15 too will be guided by its committees and their chairs and co-chairs who will shape the conversations of the days ahead. I now invite our Secretary General, Sia Chawla, to address the student delegates.
The world's problems transcend borders, said Mr. Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations. I repeat, the world's problems transcend borders, and because they do, we must transcend our differences to transform our future. Honorable Chief Guest, respected Head of School, esteemed members, Board of Trustees, PTA members, faculty advisors, delegates, and guests. I extend a heartfelt welcome to each one of you to the 15th iteration of the Navrachana International Model United Nations. My name is Sia Chawla, and it is my profound privilege to address you today as the Secretary General of NIMUN 15. Never again, they said, 80 years ago, as the United Nations rose from the ashes of a world torn apart in the aftermath of the Second World War. It was meant to be a vow that such devastation would never return. But as time progressed, decade after decade, never again turned into once again, once more, and yet again. The truth is, as we sit here in comfort, a child is burying his parents in Gaza. A mother is searching for a missing daughter in Sudan. A refugee is knocking on a border that will never open in Myanmar. And tomorrow, it could be here. Our children, our mothers, our borders. Never again was not meant to be a phrase we mourn with. It was meant to be a promise we live by. And that begins here. You might be wondering right now, but how? After all, are we not only passing draft resolutions in a model United Nations, not the real one? But if there's anything we've learned from the situation in Nepal, it is to never underestimate the power that you hold. The power that you and I hold today. If they can mobilize thousands of people with nothing more than a platform like Discord, imagine if that same force, that same fire was turned not towards hatred, but towards hope. So delegates, choose hope, choose to speak up, not just in parliaments and palaces, but because there is power in the mundane acts of diplomacy and strength. Power in choosing dialogue over silence, power in choosing cooperation over conflict, in choosing courage over fear. What starts in this chamber as a model can rise into a movement that reshapes the world. And that is why NIMUN carries its mission in pursuit of a humane world. Because peace is not only the absence of war, it is the presence of humanity. So, as Secretary General, I do not just welcome you, I charge you with a responsibility to prove that the words we speak here today are greater than the silence outside. The world is waiting, delegates. Speak with courage, act with conviction, and leave here tomorrow, not just as participants of NIMUN 15, but as custodians of a more just and peaceful tomorrow. Let history remember that our generation made those two words real. Never again, a promise kept at last. Thank you. I now invite invite Deputy Secretary General Z.S. Nilani to introduce the committees and the rules of procedures.
Thank you, Secretary General Sia Chawla. Good morning, everyone. 14 years ago, in December 2011, NIMUN began. And today, at its 15th edition, it continues to bring young voices to the front lines of global debate. And at its core are the committees, each guided by an executive board committed to keeping debate meaningful. It is my privilege to introduce the chairs and co-chairs who will lead them. This year, we will be simulating 8 committees. We begin with the United Nations Security Council, which will deliberate on state sponsorship of terrorist non-state actors. Chair Sia Chawla and co-chair Vishesh Kapadia will lead this committee. Next, the United Nations Historical Security Council, addressing power shifts, proxy wars, and the pursuit of peace. Chair Os Modi and co-chair Kshitij Somani will guide this committee. We now turn to the Disarmament and International Security Committee, or DISEC, focusing on preventing arms trafficking and accountability for weapons flows. Chair Vatsal Desai and co-chair Arushi Dalia will lead this committee. The United Nations Human Rights Council follows, with its agenda of exposing interrogation and justice, psychological abuse, and systemic medical negligence. Chair Sahaj Patel and co-chair Neil Patel will oversee this committee. And Financial Committee, ECOFIN, taking up the role of development aid and trade barriers in debt sustainability. Chair Divyanshu Rai and co-chair Sarang Siddiqui will steer this committee. And our next committee is the Special Political and Decolonization Committee, or SPECPOL, considering cyber sovereignty and the geopolitics of internet governance. This committee will be led by Chair Abhay Bharadwaja and I, Z.S. Lalai. And we now come to the International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, with the agenda of tracking and dismantling international assassination networks. This committee will be headed by Chair Raghav Sharma and co-chair Naisha Patel. And finally, the International Press Corps, tackling the effects of information warfare on the trajectory of global military conflicts. Chair Amog Jamb and co-chair Shubhi Shah will guide the team. And together, these 8 committees form the core of NIMUN 15. They will challenge you, inspire you, and push you to think critically. Step into them with confidence, and you will leave with more than awards. You will leave with perspective. To keep debates smooth and fair, the conference will follow these rules of procedure. We begin with a roll call where delegates respond with either present or present in voting. Since each committee only has one agenda, it will automatically be adopted once a motion is passed. The debate will move through a speakers list, and the list may be interrupted by procedural points, motions, caucuses, or the discussion of amendments to the draft resolutions. Each session will focus on formal debate with moderated caucuses alongside time for unmoderated caucuses. And after draft resolutions are amended, they will be put to a vote. And at that point, discussion on the agenda concludes and the chair may decide how to proceed. These procedures ensure that debate is organized, balanced, and effective. And with that, I wish you all meaningful debates and a productive conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Secretary General. Before we move ahead, we are delighted to share 2 new initiatives that will keep the spirit of NIMUN alive beyond the committee rooms. Throughout the conference, our very own NIMUN broadcast will bring you regular updates, highlights, and glimpses into the day's energy. And at the end of each day, a specially curated NIMUN newsletter will be released, capturing the essence of the proceedings, the debates, and the unforgettable moments. These initiatives are being brought to you by a dedicated media team, ensuring that no voice or no moment goes unheard. So keep your eyes and your ears open. NIMUN will be speaking to you even outside the committee rooms. We now invite our chief guest, Mr. Darren Farrant, to deliver the inaugural address. So we look forward to your wisdom and guidance as we embark on this journey of ideas.
You can hear me? Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Suprabhat. How was that Gujarati there? Kim Cho. Perhaps I should stick to English. It's my honor, absolute pleasure and honor to be with you today here in Vadodara for the 15th Navrachana International Model UN Conference. I'd like to thank Mr. Theo D'Souza for extending the warm and kind invitation to me to join you. I'd also like to acknowledge a few people. Ms. Sandhya Gajja, member of the Board of Trustees. There you are. PTA Executive Committee members, Mrs. Jyoti Nagar, NIMUN Coordinator, Mrs. Rana, who I met this morning, and faculty advisors from different schools. But actually, the most important people I want to acknowledge are you, our student delegates today. So give yourself a big round of applause. And a special welcome for those who've come further than me, come all the way from Stockholm. Välkomna. I believe that my Swedish is as good as my Gujarati, so welcome. This is my first time in Vadodara, indeed it's my first time in Gujarat. I've been living here in India for nearly 2.5 years, so it's my pleasure to make my debut here, so to speak. Every city has its own character, and in the last day I've been impressed so far with what I've been seeing. I know that the streets of the city echo with the legacy of reformers who sought a fairer India, of artists who infused everyday life with beauty, and educators who believed that learning was the surest path to liberty. So it's therefore very fitting that we meet here in a city like this, a city with vision, to consider the world that awaits you. The task before you this week is no trivial matter: to imagine the world that you will inherit and to shape that world so that you can leave a better. So many young voices, so many carrying a different story, a different hope. Today you're sitting as delegates, but tomorrow some of you will end up standing as leaders on the national and global stage. And the habits that you're cultivating here, listening attentively, negotiating, reasoning carefully, building bridges, they're going to shape not only your own lives and not only what you do this week, but the lives of many other people beyond these walls. So that's why Model UN matters. It's not a mere curriculum box-ticking exercise or a cosy pastime. It's a rehearsal, yes, but a rehearsal of the greatest sort, a rehearsal for citizenship, for global citizenship, for leadership, and for responsibility in a world that's going to expect much of you. If we are to consider that future, it's proper to reflect on the institution that has sought for decades to build a better world and to guide humanity towards stability and peace and justice. The UN, of course. This year, the UN celebrates its 80th anniversary. Born in 1945, when the world lay in ruins after the Second World War, when entire cities were destroyed, millions had been killed and displaced, and trust between nations and peoples was shattered. So from that darkness, amazingly, countries resolved, never again a war that consumes the entire world, never again the belief that might makes right. And we heard just how difficult it is to live up to that principle. But they established the UN nevertheless, and entrusted it with 3 clear purposes: to build and keep peace, to foster cooperation, and to improve the lives of all people. And today it can be easy to forget, at a time when multilateralism is under attack, constant attack in fact, and we heard it just this week from a certain person in New York, when Security Council reform can seem as far away as ever, and when conflicts and suffering rage in Sudan, in Gaza, in Ukraine, in Yemen and elsewhere. It is easy to forget that the UN has done, actually not such a bad job over the years of delivering on those 3 main goals. While conflicts continue, there has been no Third World War in those 80 years, no small achievement considering what had happened in the previous 3 decades. And all the development indicators demonstrate that humans have actually been making remarkable material progress Fewer of us are succumbing to hunger or poverty or disease, for example, than just a few decades ago. And away from the spotlights of those conflicts I mentioned, the world's countries are actually coming together every day on a regular basis at the UN to reach agreements on how to build a better world. Here's an example from just this past week. Last Friday, you may have heard this, Morocco and Sierra Leone became the 60th and 61st countries to ratify the UN Treaty to safeguard marine biodiversity on the high seas. And by doing so, by being 60 and 61, this landmark treaty clears the hurdle to come into force, taking effect in January. So this is going to be a critical milestone on the road to making our seas cleaner and greener. Should that be bluer, maybe? So that's just one example. Beyond that, the UN strives to achieve good in the world. Every day, it helps and protects 139 million people fleeing war, famine and persecution. It provides food and assistance to 123 million people. It supplies vaccines to 45% of the world's children. It maintains peace with 61,000 peacekeepers, and who knows that better than India, which is historically the biggest contributor of UN peacekeepers. It protects human rights through 80 different human rights treaties and declarations. So the UN is a reminder of what we can all achieve, because after all, the UN is us. The UN reminds us what we can achieve when we get together, when we work together to achieve a common outcome. As do, of course, the Sustainable Development Goals. 10 years ago, world leaders adopted those 17 goals to end poverty, protect the planet, secure dignity for all, advance gender equality by 2030. Yet today, more than 2/3 of those targets are off track. The past 8 years have been the hottest on record. Hunger has risen to a 20-year high. More than half the world's children are refugees. More than half the world's refugees are children. These are not abstractions. They are realities that are going to shape not just today, but your futures. So where does hope lie? And it comes back. It lies here in this room, in classrooms like this, in events like the UN and London. You are not merely students. You can be innovators, problem solvers, guardians of truth. We heard someone talk about mis and disinformation earlier. The choices you make about what you read, what you share, what you defend, will ripple far beyond these walls. You may feel young, you may feel the future is insurmountable, but history demonstrates that's not quite true. Change is usually led by the young. Just look at Nepal and Bangladesh recently. Civil rights, independence movements, environmental campaigns, time and again students have been at the forefront. So, friends, use this week wisely. Test your ideas with courage. Disagree, but with extreme courtesy. Forge alliances, even unlikely ones. I have every confidence you will rise to the occasion and that this 15th Navrachana International Model UN, or NIMUN, will inspire all who witness it. At UNIC New Delhi, we engage actively with schools and colleges and civil society groups up and down the country to share knowledge, to build partnerships, to remind each other that no effort is ever too small to matter. It's through such connections, through these daily commitments, that we can really realise that the future belongs to all of us. The UN welcomes youth and young voices like yours because it is your ideas, your curiosity and your efforts that will shape the world of tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking words. Your vision will surely ensure as a compass for our deliberations. The moment we all have been waiting for is here. May I invite our Secretary General, C.R. Chawla, to formally declare the 15th Navrachana International Model United Nations open.
I now declare the 15th edition of the Navrachana International Model United Nations Conference open.
this inaugural ceremony to a close, it is time to express our gratitude. We extend our heartfelt thanks to our chief guest, Mr. Darren Ferrand, for your gracious presence and for your inspiring words. And our heartfelt thanks to our Mrs. Sandhya Gurjar, member of the Board of Trustees, for her gracious presence and unwavering support. To our head of school, Mr. D'Souza, for your constant support and vision. To the faculty advisors who have mentored our delegates, and most importantly, to the young diplomats. Your presence gives NIMUN its meaning.
Delegates, as we step into NIMUN 15, remember this. Every resolution begins with a conversation, and every conversation begins with courage. Here is how today unfolds. We begin with session 1 from 11 to 1:30, diving straight into debate and diplomacy. After that, recharge over a hearty lunch from 1:30 to 2:15. Session 2 picks up at 2:30 and runs till 5, followed by a refreshing break from 5 to 5:30. Then it's back to the floor for session 3 from 5:30 to 7. And we close the day on a high note. At 7:15, we gather for the much-awaited gala dinner, an evening of celebrations, connections, and shared stories. Delegates, after the national anthem, you are requested to proceed to the quadrangle for the group photograph, after which you will move to your respective committee rooms. Ushers will guide you. May I request everyone to rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जन गण मन
I request our head of school, Mr. D'Souza, and member board of trustees, Mrs. Sandhya Gurjar, to escort our chief guest, Mr. Darren Farrell, to the quadrangle for the photography session. Thank you.